This is going to be a very difficult story to go through for several reasons. For one, the level of complexity, and more importantly, the fact that YouTube has insane rules and probably isn't going to be too happy that I'm going to be telling you, according to new documents in the Epstein case, Bill Clinton is being directly implicated, and it would seem that Donald Trump is actually being cleared of some accusations. Now, many people probably not surprised by this, but thanks to the work of Mike Cernovich and investigative reporter Julie K. Brown, we are now getting to read the actual documents, and there's some really, I'll just call it interesting. I don't want to pretend to be able to go through all of the intricacies and complexities of this story. I'll just read for you what we're seeing and how people feel about what's going on. But what you need to know is that Bill Clinton has been accused many times of being a part of the goings on at Epstein's Island, to put it mildly. Now, Bill Clinton has denied this over and over again, but now Virginia Giuffre has said he was there and with two young girls. And according to the documents that got released, she actually said I believe it's not her. Someone else was saying that I don't remember seeing Donald Trump there at all. And if he was there, he briefly stopped over at some place in Florida and then left. There's actually one point, I believe, at which Virginia says, no, Donald Trump never even flirted with her like the press reported. So it looks like these documents, really good news for Trump so far, and really, really bad news for the Clintons. And I just want to point something out because of the complexity of the story. I know YouTube may actually ban this, so I have to be I'm walking on eggshells here. You get this. But people talk about these conspiracy theories involving, Bill Clinton and Epstein and all that. And it's interesting to me that, we've had these implications over and over again, these accusations. This is the conspiracy, okay? This is the evidence people are talking about. Newsweek, Fox News, several other outlets are now reporting on this. The documents have been released. And the crazy thing is apparently the FBI actually had evidence of Prince Andrew's involvement. That's according to the documents as well, at least according to Virginia Giuffre's statement. So let's try to very carefully walk through what's going on, and I'll do my best, but you've been warned. This is, again, we're on YouTube, so I'm doing the best I can. Newsweek reports, Bill Clinton went to Epstein's Island with two young girls, Virginia Giuffre says. In recently unsealed court documents involving Epstein and his alleged accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, a woman named Virginia Giuffre, who publicly accused Epstein of trafficking, said that she once saw former Democratic President Bill Clinton on Epstein's Island with two young girls from New York. In the questioning by lawyer Jack Scarola, Giuffre was asked, do you have any recollection of Jeffrey Epstein specifically telling you that Bill Clinton owes me favors? Yes, I do, Giuffre answered. It was a laugh, though. He would laugh it off, I remember asking Jeffrey, what's Bill Clinton doing here on Epstein's Island? Kind of thing. And he laughed it off and said, well, he owes me favors. He never told me what favors they were, Giuffre continued. I never knew. I didn't know if he was serious. It was just a joke. He told me a long time ago that everyone owes him favors. They're all in each other's pockets. Shortly thereafter, Scarola asked, where were the group love events? Were they a regular occurrence on the island? And Giuffre responded, yes. Scarola then asked if she was ever present with Epstein and Clinton on the island. Ghislaine, Emmy, another girl who was allegedly a regular, and there was two young girls that I could identify. I never really knew them well anyways. It was just two girls from New York, Giuffre answered, and said they were all staying on Epstein's house on the island. Epstein had multiple ties to Clinton, and this is linking to another Newsweek story about the flight logs for Epstein. Along with many other big-name celebrities, was a repeated passenger on Epstein's private Boeing 727 plane, which was nicknamed. Okay, we're getting real careful here. I'm gonna move on from this paragraph before this video gets banned. In 2002, Epstein hosted Clinton, as well as actors Kevin Spacey, and Chris Tucker, on a 2002 tour of Africa associated with the Clinton Foundation. Epstein called Clinton the world's greatest politician in a 2002 New York Magazine article in which President Donald Trump mentioned Epstein's predilection for girls on the younger side. Clinton praised Epstein. In 2015, the now defunct pop culture and news website Gawker released the flight logbooks for Epstein's Gulfstream and the Lolita Express 727, Clinton is listed as having taken at least 11 flights on this plane. In one flight, Clinton allegedly flew with, this is going to get banned, right? Whatever. An adult actress listed under massages. In Epstein's address book on all 11 flights, he rode with Maxwell and Epstein's former assistant, Sarah Kellen. Kellen has been accused in court filings of recruiting young girls on Epstein's behalf. On multiple flights, additional women who flew with Clinton are either listed by only their first name or as simply as female. A 2019 statement from the Clinton Foundation claimed that Clinton knows nothing about the terrible crimes of Epstein, pleaded guilty to, adding, Clinton took a total of 4 trips. Staff supporters of the foundation and a Secret Service detail traveled. Staff supporters of the foundation and his Secret Service detail traveled on every trip, the statement continued. He has not spoken to Epstein in well over a decade, and he has never been to Little St. James Island. Okay, I'm doing my best here. Bear with me, but I got to give a shout out to, this is from Newsweek, and this was reported just the other day. They say, Ghislaine Maxwell loses bid to block court from unsealing documents. They say, despite Preska's order of releasing the documents Thursday, she gave Maxwell's attorney 2 days to seek a stay from an appeals court from allowing her court to release other documents tied to litigation from the Miami Herald and Michael Cernovich. And there you go. Credit where credit is due. A lot of people in the media want to go after Mike Cernovich, particularly the Julie K. Brown from the Miami Herald. I'm not entirely sure if they go after her in much the same way, but they try to claim all of the worst possible things about Cernovich. Whatever you want to think about the guy, he gets credit for this. That's a fact. So we have this story also from Fox News. The reason I'm showing you this is just so you know, Newsweek is rather left. Okay, Fox News, of course, is right wing. We've got it coming from everybody here. Bill Clinton visited Jeffrey Epstein's private island. Unsealed court documents suggest. Maxwell's lawyers tried to prevent the documents from being released. Let's take a look at some of the actual documents. First, I want to show you this from Technofog. These are just some select tweets that I've pulled up to give you some context. This is not an exhaustive list of everything. Technofog says, remember that famous Prince Andrew photo with Ghislaine Maxwell and the victim? The FBI had their own copy for years. Even before the victim's 2011 FBI interview, the FBI knew they always knew. Prince Andrew had been implicated in this. He's been in I'll just call it serious trouble. And now, as much as they tried to deny it, he even tried claiming it was Photoshop. We have this. This is from Virginia Giuffre, May 3rd, 2016. Question: where is the original photograph that has been widely circulated in the press of you with Prince Andrew? I probably still have it, she says. I'm not saying I have a photographic memory, but if I'd look at the back of the photo, I'd remember what it says. I believe it was March 2001. Question: did the photograph ever leave your possession? Answer: I gave it to the FBI. Question: okay, and when did you get it back? From Virginia, when they took copies of it. When was that? 2011. When they came to interview you? Yes. So from 2011 until you left Colorado, it was in your personal possession? Yes. They had it before, it would seem. I wonder what the FBI was doing. Now, I want to point some interesting things out. There was a federal prosecutor at the Southern District of New York who was essentially fired, forced out. Bill Barr announced this guy was resigning. The guy was like, no, I'm not. And then Bill Barr was like, then we're firing you. Get out. Shortly after this, Ghislaine Maxwell got arrested. This prosecutor was working there when Epstein, lost his life. We'll put it that way. There is something happening here, to say the least. Now, as most of you know, I prefer to deal with facts and confirmation. I don't want to speculate as to what this may or may not mean. And I want to make sure I point this out. These are statements from one witness so far. I believe we have statements from another witness. I'm not entirely sure. I'm being very, very careful and taking a very, very light approach to how I'm covering this to make sure that you can get access to this surface level information without me getting banned and without going too deep into any potential conspiracies. This is what's being publicly released in actual witness statements. But you need to understand a witness statement isn't necessarily confirmation. It's just corroboration, okay, or circumstantial evidence. The fact that Bill Clinton has been directly implicated by a victim is very serious, especially if we're going to play the game of believing the women. Now, The other thing that needs to be pointed out, this is totally bipartisan. I am seeing progressives across the board being like, lock up Bill Clinton. We don't care. Who cares about Bill Clinton? However, when it comes to Donald Trump, I think the left isn't going to like what comes next. Here we have this news snippet somebody posted on Twitter. I'm not sure what it is or where it's from, but somebody posted this and they're referencing it specifically to a witness statement that was made. So take it with a grain of salt. I don't have the source on this. Quote, "She was very fake. She turned away from me when we were introduced by Ghislaine and Jeffrey. Donald Trump was also a good friend of Jeffrey's. He didn't partake in adult activities with any of us, but he flirted with me. He'd laugh and tell Jeffrey, 'You've got the life.' Palm Beach police say Epstein seemed utterly unfazed by the allegations against him when they began their long, detailed investigation." Now I want to show you this. Someone tweeted, "Boom, there it is, no Trump." So this is, it's kind of hard to see, but it looks like another witness statement. I believe it's from Virginia. Yes, it is. From Virginia Giuffre, 11/14/2016. Here's what's said. Question. What is the basis for your statement that Donald Trump is a good friend of Jeffrey's? Jeffrey told me that Donald Trump is a good friend of his. Question. But you've never observed them together. Answer. No. Not that I can actually remember. I mean, not off the top of my head, no. Question. When did Donald Trump flirt with you? Virginia says, he didn't. That's what's inaccurate. Question. Did you ever see Donald Trump at Jeffrey's home? Answer. Not that I can remember. On his island? Not that I can remember. In New Mexico? No, not that I can remember. In New York? Not that I can remember. Question. All right. If you could turn to the second page and read through those, let me know if any of those are accurate. So this is apparently from page 1919 of 2024. And it purports to show that Virginia could not recall a single instance of Donald Trump actually being in any of these places. Apparently, there's some other statements that I guess in Florida, Donald Trump had shown up and like hung out in the kitchen and had some food and then left and never stayed. When it was brought up that I think I actually might have the tweet. I'm not entirely sure. Saw this too. Okay, so no, this is the same thing. There was maybe it's here we go. No, I don't know exactly where it is, but the general idea is that Donald Trump didn't require anything from anybody else because he was rich himself. So when people are saying things like he would hang out with Epstein, the argument, I suppose, is that he would never stay at the place in Florida because he had his own massage parlor and spa. That was something that was brought up. Let me see what else I have. Here we go. I do have it. Trump is cleared according to Juan Alessi. So I'm not sure exactly where this document comes from. Again, this is all like a bunch of documents being released. People are on Twitter speculating. So I want to make sure that you take this all with a grain of salt. This should be, hopefully what I'm giving you is enough for you to maybe do a Google search and start digging into this. The reason why I'm taking a very, very light approach, again, for the 50 millionth time, is that we are dealing with very, very complicated and serious matters. And I want to make sure I'm not making hard, definitive statements because there's too much we don't know, and we have to follow the facts to their conclusion. I think it's fair to say, however, we know what Epstein had been doing, that Bill Clinton has been implicated several times. We now have Fox News and Newsweek saying, look at these witness statements. You combine the witness statements with the flight logs, I think it's fair to say Bill Clinton is lying straight up. So here's what was brought up. They say, did he have massages when he was there? Yes, a massage was like a treat for everybody. If they want it, we call the massage and they have a massage. Now, Mr. Trump had a home in Palm Beach, correct? Uh-huh. So he didn't come and stay there, did he? No, never. He would come for a meal. Answer, he would come have dinner. He never sat at the table. He eat with me in the kitchen. Did he ever have massages while he was there? No, because he's got his own spa. Well, there you go. That's another important point. I'm going to carefully move forward. And we have this, this is the same statement. This tweet says, even when it's there in black and white, sadly, those with Trump derangement syndrome still won't realize he is out to get the traffickers like Ghislaine Maxwell and the pedos like Nasty, Dershowitz, and Bill Clinton. FBI had them in 2014. Obama, Comey did nothing. So once again, there's the statement saying, when did Donald Trump flirt with you? He didn't. That's what's inaccurate. So we're going to skip over. I'm going to show you this. This is one of the most difficult segments I've ever had to produce. I've had to get rid of a ton of information. I'll probably have to blur this. I swear I'm going to have to blur this because otherwise YouTube could just suppress the whole thing. Trust in media is -5. I'm showing you this for a reason. But now I want to highlight this last story from July 4th. Rose McGowan calls for arrests of Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, following Ghislaine Maxwell's FBI capture. The British royal and former POTUS have been accused of running in Jeffrey Epstein's circle. Notice, I mean, maybe she did mention, okay, apparently no, she didn't mention Donald Trump. Maybe she has in the past. I don't know. Let me try and give you a few minutes now, break down a little bit here. There's a lot of people on the left and the right that are absolutely hyper-focused on this, trying to figure out what's going on. And I think a lot of people are very, very focused on this. Again, this is a very, very difficult segment to produce. However, the left believes Donald Trump and Bill Barr are trying to cover this up. The right believes it's probably the Clintons or, powerful interests. I do not believe the left is correct in their assessment in accusing Donald Trump of wrongdoing. I don't. I actually think, based on everything we've seen, Bill Barr and Donald Trump are actually trying to bring these people down. The reason for it is, first, I'll point out that fired Southern District of New York prosecutor. If this prosecutor was on the job when Epstein was arrested and put in jail, and then Epstein lost his life, I'll put it that way, then it stands to reason, that whoever, like the people involved should be removed if they're going to be moving forward, because you don't know who you can trust. There's no reason for Bill Barr to get. So here's what the left has said. They've said that Bill Barr was trying to get rid of this guy so they could protect themselves during the Epstein case, to stop this strong and anti-Trump, anti-corruption prosecutor from revealing Trump's dark secrets. And I don't believe it. I really don't, because they had him on with Epstein, in which case it stands to reason more so, in my opinion, they didn't trust him. I don't know for sure, man. I don't know what else is going to come out of this, but I will say, Mike Cernovich has been digging into it. He's the one who got a lot of these documents released in the first place, along with efforts from Julie K. Brown. There are some really strange goings on, to say the very least. But I believe when you look at, there are some memes that go around about the amount of traffickers who've been arrested, and way more under Donald Trump than the previous administration. I also want to point out that Bill Barr was the attorney general back in 1991 to 93, I believe. It seems like they're trying to clean up this really disgusting, seedy underbelly, all that stuff. Look, Bill Barr was the AG before Clinton. So we could be looking at a circumstance where after H.W. Bush, who I'm not saying I like the guy at all, but Barr served under him. After that administration left and the Clintons came in, then began widespread corruption. I mean, look, we know what Bill Clinton was doing in the Oval Office. So when you tell me that, when you tell me he's on the flight logs and I got a witness putting him there, I'm gonna believe it. I am. And so what does that mean? I'll tell you what, man. Being very, very careful about my choice of language. There are conspiracy theories that people have about high-profile politicians. You have to absolutely avoid speculation and the fake posts. They will try to taint the story, and they've done it successfully. There have been leaked emails from WikiLeaks, which are very strange. All of a sudden, a bunch of people start spreading fake news about what these emails mean. And I tell you this definitively, fake news. I've watched people make it up. And then all of these people who believe this stuff about, Clinton and Epstein latch onto this fake planted trash and create the most insane and psychotic conspiracy theory. And that's the point. Red herrings. When information gets released that could lead you down the right path, of course the bad guys are going to throw, red meat. They're going to throw out red herrings to trick you into going off the path. That's why I'm being very, very careful with how I'm reporting this. And that's why you should too. That's why I'm probably going to have to blur a decent portion of this video. Otherwise, YouTube would actually take it down and tell you this. These are witness statements. There are flight logs. There's corroborating evidence. Look, I don't see how you say Bill Clinton wasn't involved at this point. With the flight logs, with what he's already known to have done, and with now witness statements, as well as statements about Alan Dershowitz, I think that's it. I think, I don't know what else we can expect, what else we need to say. Bill Clinton is a very, very old man at this point. But that's what makes me question the previous administration and the administration before that. Hillary Clinton was involved, she was Secretary of State in the Obama administration. I am glad she did not get elected, to say the least. But let me just say this one last time. There's a lot more I could have talked about in this video, a lot more words I could have used. However, as I've stated before, this is very difficult to produce. I'm trying to be very, very careful. I hope you understand. And let this be a primer for you to actually do some digging yourself if you have the wherewithal and the time to start looking up these documents and reading through thousands of pages of testimony like many of these people are doing. If I came out and read some of these pages, it's very likely this video would just be deleted and then no one would hear anything about it. And if I came out and started speculating hard on what this stuff meant, then the video would absolutely be deleted. I'm very sure that I'm going to be sanctioned on YouTube for talking about it at all. So keep with that in mind. You can follow Mike Cernovich on Twitter and see what he's been talking about. These are stories coming up from Newsweek and Fox News. So there you have it. I'm sorry, man. It's really the best I can do. I'll have more segments coming up at 1 p.m., the next segment at 1 p.m. on this channel, and I will see you all then, assuming this video doesn't get me nuked.